Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Variant Cast. We got something a bit different for you guys today. I'm here as always with the guy that's been helplessly spinning his hands in a circle trying to create a portal for about 45 minutes here before we started. How is that going, Trent?
You know how I still don't know how they do it. So
I think it's something with like something like that. But we're going to be going over the supernatural side of the MCU, magic users, supernatural creatures, like, you know, a guy that might be a normal guy during the day, but by night, he might be a silly little werewolf. There's going to be several different creatures and people and characters that were introduced and never seen again, or characters that may not ever show up again, but we're going to be breaking them all down. Every magic user, every supernatural creature that we can think of. So without a further ado, I say let's get into this. And there's a couple places you could start. I think the best place to start would be maybe the first magic user that we see in the MCU, and that in my head is Scarlet Witch. Am I think I'm on.
So maybe Loki, but
oh yeah, Loki. It would probably be Loki. So we're gonna start with Scarlet Witch, though, who may be dead, may be alive at the current time of recording this. We don't know. She's definitely alive, though. Too popular of a character to just be written off. I think she would honestly be recast before she was killed off. But I don't see her being recast, as those contracts seem pretty tight. But we're going to say she's currently alive. She's also a mother now to another magic user that is revealed in Agatha. So spoilers for every MCU thing, by the way. Don't watch this if you're worried about being spoiled for MCU stuff. Wiccan, or Billy Maximoff, or Teen from the Agatha series, is the son of Scarlet Witch, not biologically, but spiritually, I guess you could say.
yes, basically. I mean,
basically,
it's real to Scarlet Witch. Then that's all that matters.
Yeah, who cares about the biological side of it? And then, kind of in that realm, there's obviously Agatha, who we've grown accustomed to over the past few weeks, if you are watching the series. She seems like she's been around a long time, and by seems like it, she has definitely been around a long time. She was a member of the Salem Witch Trials, which is a historical event that also took place in the MCU, and it's revealed that I guess the Wicked Witch of the West from that one movie,
Wizard of Oz.
What? Wizard of Oz, that's what it's called, was based on her. So she's been around and she's fairly infamous. We learn in the show that there's kind of like a wiki for these things, like in universe. So there's a deep rabbit hole that we haven't really been shown. But with Agatha, she seems to be one of the more powerful. Mm-hmm. It seems like she can absorb others' powers only if it is used on her. So there's the caveat there. But for the most part, she's been pretty powerful throughout history. And then if we are talking history of the universe as opposed to human history, Loki, who is the first magic user, or Odin is the first magic user we see. I don't know who the first magic user we see chronologically is. It's probably Odin chronologically. But Loki is currently sitting on a throne, right? Just kind of tanking the whole universe.
Holding together the timelines.
Yeah, just, you know, he's straight chilling.
Yeah, I mean, but we've also seen him, imitate people, or we've seen him like go disguised as other people. So I think that he's also probably one of the more powerful ones. I'd probably put him up there with Agatha as the more powerful magic users.
Definitely. If we're scaling them, I don't know where Agatha would lie when we get more towards like the cosmic side, or even like, you know, Sorcerer Supreme, like where she kind of falls in that. Probably depends on the day, who she's absorbed recently. But she did go toe to toe with Scarlet Witch, and we saw Scarlet Witch go toe to toe with Doctor Strange, so kind of assume they're all in the same realm there. Speaking of Doctor Strange, there's obviously all of that stuff when you talk about magic users. I wouldn't say this stuff is as supernatural as it more is like, I don't know, magic. I guess that's still supernatural, but it's just different.
Yeah.
But
Mystic arts.
Yeah. But you have Doctor Strange, you have Mordo, who may or may not be trying to kill all wizards still. You have the Ancient One, obviously like Dormammu, if he uses magic, or he is just magic personified.
Yeah, I mean, I think that in the comics he's more of like a magic user than he is in the MCU, but I still think that there's still a bit of magic in his set.
You have Hela, who I think there's a good chance she comes back for like these upcoming Avengers movies. I have no idea why. I just could see her coming back. If they do a thing where they like resurrect a bunch of villains to fight, I could see that happening. There's Jonathan Pangborn. Are you familiar with Jonathan Pangborn?
Not familiar with the Pang Man.
He's the guy that learned magic just to like walk again because he couldn't walk. So he could play basketball. So like most people are in it for like power. He just wanted to hoop, and there's like something respectable about that.
Yeah, but you know, not respected by the mystic arts community for that.
Yeah, no, he we don't know much about what Mordo is doing, but we do know he got him. He got the guy playing basketball, which is I don't know how to feel about that. Are you going for the person that is using magic the most irresponsibly? I don't know if basketball would be high on that irresponsibility list. Or are you going for the one that is, you know, using it in a dangerous way? Because I would assume just wanting to play basketball wouldn't be that. But hey, to each his own. Mordo is going to do what Mordo wants to do. Allegedly, we really don't know outside of this one instance. But also allegedly, like a magic user or not, would be the CEO of Sex himself, Ned Leeds. He opened a portal.
Yeah. He did it. He successfully did it. And apparently one of his grandmas, right? Was a sorcerer.
He's like a wizard once removed.
Yeah. So
do you think that's like a plot thread they're going to keep going with?
I mean, I hope so. I mean, Ned didn't forget about that. I mean, he only forgot about Peter and like Spider-Man, but I don't think that he forgot about like Doctor Strange, and that he could just think that, you know, he ran into, his memory could be changed where he just ran into Doctor Strange and or Wong, and then was like, hey, you got that wizard blood in you, kid. You're a wizard, Harry.
I think that's probably what will happen, is they'll just be like, oh yeah, I dropped out of school and I've been studying with Wong. I just could see them pairing them up. So that's something to look forward to if you're a big Ned Leeds fan, which I'm sure there's most of them. But yeah, we mentioned Wong, and then Gambit. Is Gambit going to show up ever again? I feel like there's a chance. I think that Channing Tatum's Gambit was probably the biggest character in terms of popularity outside of like Deadpool and Wolverine. Coming out of that, we did see another magic user, Blade, who has only appeared in one line in Eternals, but apparently that movie is still happening. Allegedly.
Yeah. if it'll ever happen, who knows?
Something we know is not going to happen would be another magic user, Nico from Runaways. I thought she was probably the standout character from Runaways. And I think if anyone was going to cross over from like Runaways and make it into the main universe, it would have been her. I just don't see any way that they use those actors, whether they reboot and just do it all again. And do like, she was briefly known as Sister Grimm, according to Wikipedia. Maybe they expand upon that. I could see that, but I don't think the current iteration that we've seen so far in the MCU through the Runaways Hulu series is ever going to come back.
If they were to bring them back, I think that they have a perfect opportunity right now to put her in that school at the end of Doctor Strange, like with America Chavez and all of them. Just have her be a student. But and then like the people who know who she is. I mean, like if you know, you know. But I get like if you don't know, then she could just be another character.
That school would be a solid place to bring in, Cloak and Dagger as well. Maybe Ned Leeds in there. You could. I'd watch a Disney series of just that school with
hell yeah,
a bunch of random people that have shown up in the MCU. I'd watch that.
Definitely,
I'd watch that for sure. Then we have more of the actual supernatural side of things now. Kind of went back and forth if Moon Knight should be on this, but I don't think so. I think he is like a pretty traditional superhero. But someone that I think definitely would be like Man-Thing and Werewolf by Night. Those would be the two that like for sure would fall into this supernatural category. Or Elsa Bloodstone.
Yep. She definitely fall into that. She's got like she's always hunting after like supernatural relics and stuff like that. So she definitely falls into that category. And like you said, Man-Thing. If we're counting the Sony stuff, I guess Morbius. I mean,
yeah,
Vampire Mike. Got to count him in it, I guess. But the one who I would like to show up again is Ghost Rider. I mean, he showed up in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I think we're inevitably going to get a Ghost Rider TV series. But I think that, whether it be Ryan Gosling or bring back Nick Cage to just appear in like an Avengers movie or something, I think that we're definitely gonna see him again at some point.
Yeah. I think the character is just too popular not to pop back up. I think I could really imagine the Nicolas Cage Ghost Rider in like the Avengers movie, even though that would be completely pointless and make no sense. I could totally imagine that. Like whatever the MacGuffin is just like laying on the ground and everybody's like, oh, how are we gonna get it? And then you just hear like a motorcycle and he like picks it up and throws the MacGuffin, and then they're like, thanks, Nicolas Cage Ghost Rider. Something like
Ryan
that.
Reynolds really wanted to get Nick Cage for Deadpool and Wolverine, and I think the scheduling just missed it, but I definitely think that Nicolas Cage is game for anything that they want to do. I mean, man cameoed in The Flash, and can't get any worse than that. So,
well, that's what I was thinking. If he's willing to cameo in The Flash, I feel like he would have made time to show up for a couple days for Ghost Rider. So that would lead me to believe that they have more plans for Ghost Rider. And I'd be shocked if he wasn't in contact with Feige and that crew of what comes next for that character. I think even if he is only in it for like a fainting time to pass on the mantle, I think they're going to want to use him because so many people, he is synonymous with Ghost Rider, Nicolas Cage Ghost Rider from those 2000s movies. Granted, I think the character is popular enough on its own, that you don't need him, but it just feels very Marvel to include Nick Cage in some capacity.
Yeah, you got to have the Nicolas Cage passing of the torch to
Yes.
to the younger Ghost Rider actor.
It just makes sense. It just makes sense. But
yeah,
I think the big question, if you do have a question, if something is keeping you awake at night, in regards to the supernatural side of the MCU, it's definitely got to be Wiccan and what Wiccan's presence would mean in Marvel and what it means for Scarlet Witch's character. By far, all these characters that we've gone through, two most popular ones are Loki, who seems to have a set story, and Scarlet Witch. Those are your two big hitters, Doctor Strange as well, but I think we know... we know he's going to get another movie, maybe with Clea, who's another magic user who got one scene. I think that's probably going to get abandoned as a storyline, or it'll just be where he is during the Avengers. I think that's probably most likely. They're like, oh, where's Doctor Strange? Oh, he's with this girl named Clea. We have to find him in this dimension. And it's like a 15-minute like B plot or something. Yeah, I could see that happening. But I think the most interesting part is what they're going to do with Scarlet Witch. I think we'll probably get that answer at the end of Agatha. It feels like it. We got the reveal, spoilers for Agatha. We got the reveal last episode that Lady Death, I don't know if it's Lady Death or just Death, exists in the MCU. There was a lot of speculation around Infinity War because that was the original reason that Thanos was trying to snap half the universe, was to impress Death, who he thought was hot, which now that we've seen her, understandable. But that's just a matter of just using the character in a different spot and repurposing it. I don't know if that is a character that's going to have life outside of this show. I assume she will, because like Death is such a prominent character in Marvel. Yeah. And
I would hope so. I think that Aubrey Plaza is a great actress to get for that role. And I think that she's definitely, like, you could definitely see her in the Avengers. And if they were to do if they were to have done a comic accurate Infinity Gauntlet storyline, like Aubrey Plaza as Lady Death, I mean, all day. I mean, she's fantastic in that. And I could definitely see her getting life past this. And like you're saying, I think that there might even be some tie, because who knows that she wasn't talking over Thanos' shoulder the whole time, because Thanos had a similar saying to Rio, where like it said, all roads lead to me, or like something like that, something along those lines. But I could definitely see that connection, and that could be how, it all connects together.
Yeah, and I also wonder if they're going to do like any Midnight Sun stuff. It really does feel like we're set up for it. After Werewolf by Night, after Agatha, like you could put together a pretty strong Midnight Suns team. Now you do need, I think, Ghost Rider to kind of be the face of that if you are going to have some more minor characters. But I think that's most likely down the line, especially if they're going to do any more like rated R stuff. I don't think that's a movie. I think Midnight Suns would be a series. I think most of the stuff would be confined to series, just because it does have like that more demonic undertone that is questionable at the box office. But I think overall, this has been one of the more interesting sides of the MCU to me. It seems like one where it's like, I have no idea what they're doing. Granted, I don't really know what they're doing with the Avengers either. But this one feels like something new is going to come from this. And I'm really excited to see what they do with Wiccan, what they do with the whole Scarlet Witch storyline, see where Vision comes into play. If Vision is just going to be rebirthed by, nothing, I don't 100% know, but I think at the end of the day, this is one of the stronger sides of the MCU, and I think Agatha has been one of the more strong series, maybe the strongest series that has come out of Marvel. For me, at least, that's kind of how I feel. I don't know what your take on that would be, but I really enjoyed Werewolf by Night. I really hope we get more of this stuff. It seems like they kind of reserve it for a Halloween release, but I would like more of it year round, you know?
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think that I'm having a great time watching Agatha and seeing like that side of the MCU explored, and definitely just like seeing like that's one thing that I feel like we've been missing from the MCU is just like seeing different corners of the universe that we haven't seen before. And Agatha is doing a great job of not only showing us like different powers and stuff that people can have, but also just like literally different corners of the MCU, like places that we didn't even know existed. And I think that they're doing a great job at exploring the supernatural side of the MCU, and I hope they continue.
Yeah, 100%. And I'm interested to see what they do with the whole Sorcerer Supreme stuff. I think the next, like, if they do another Doctor Strange movie, that would be an interesting point, is like, who's the next Sorcerer Supreme after Strange, all of that. And like, did anyone ever give Jonathan Pangborn his legs back? Can he play basketball again? Like, how good was he at basketball? Was he better at basketball with magic, or did he just make his legs as good as they were before? These are all questions that I hope is answered either in a Jonathan Pangborn like solo series, or at least acknowledged in the next Doctor Strange movie.
I'm looking for a in-universe documentary about Jonathan Pangborn.
But that is pretty much the supernatural side of the MCU. We've only gotten maybe 4 or 5 dedicated projects, you know, on this side, but I think it is just kind of interesting to catch up with it, see where everyone is. Most of these characters are alive, and they're just kind of sitting in the void, waiting to be used. So, I think Midnight Suns, if they do that, would be the kind of culmination of, this buildup. But who knows? Maybe there's just more like, a Scarlet Witch movie, I think, has been rumored for a long time. Maybe this culminates in that, like, Scarlet Witch and Wiccan movie kind of thing, and they're trying to find Tommy, and that's the plot of the movie. I could see that. Also sounds kind of terrible. Who knows? We'll go ahead and let Kevin, his hat, and the rest of the crew decide that. But for now, let us know what you think of the more concentrated episode on one topic here. And feel free to leave us a comment if you disagree with any of our takes, or if we forgot any magic user. I know we did. We didn't name the individual people of the Salem 7. We didn't go through all the Asgardians that could use magic, stuff like that. But I really wanted to focus more on the supernatural side. And I am curious if we're going to get more things like Dracula, or, Wolf. I guess we already have Wolfman, Frankenstein, stuff like that. That is public domain, that all of the comic book companies kind of are involved in. It'd be interesting to see if we get any more of that, or Werewolf by Night is kind of the only thing in that realm that we'll ever get. I don't think that'll be the case, but let us know what you think in the comment section below. And Trent, you got anything else for us?
Nope. I just think that Scarlet Witch is beating everyone. I think that she's the clear number one supernatural threat in the MCU, and now that she's dead, quote unquote, I do think that that position is open, quote unquote. So, who do you think should be the next, or I guess, who do you think is the best sorcerer in the MCU?
And why is it Ned Leeds?
Yeah, and why is it the CEO of Sex? So let us know in the comments. Let us know, again, if we forgot anybody. and we will see you all next episode.
Peace.
Deuces.